Dopamine detox. The increasing number of stimuli of the digital age leads to an increase in the individual's impulsive movements. New generation stimuli can cause the individual to oscillate between reward and punishment at an unusual speed, so much so that feeling good turns into a situation that depends on external stimuli. Silicon Valley's new favorite, dopamine detox, is presented as an antidote to this overstimulated modern life. Dopamine detox predicts that metabolic health can be achieved by changing the brain's reward mechanism. How dopamine changes us. Neurotransmitters are the carriers that provide communication between neurons or neuron and cell. Working like a messenger, neurotransmitters take on different functions throughout the nervous system. As a neurotransmitter, dopamine is released to activate the brain's pleasure mechanisms. Dopamine affects the brain's ability to enjoy and reward. The brain begins to release dopamine when it expects a reward. So much so that when a certain activity is associated with pleasure, even the expectation can be enough for the brain to release dopamine. The right and healthy dopamine level creates a well-being in the person in general. When dopamine release is balanced, the person feels pleasant and active. When the balance is disturbed, it can take on a sad, tired, and demotivated mood. Dopamine deficiency can manifest itself with symptoms such as difficulty concentrating, loss of enthusiasm, and decreased coordination skills. Excessive dopamine secretion can cause delusions, mania, and hallucinations, as well as increased feelings of euphoria. What does dopamine do? Dopamine plays different functional roles, both neurologically and physiologically. Many motor functions, from a person's mood to decision-making, are realized by dopamine. Apart from creating a feeling of well-being, dopamine also contributes to the following functions of the body: focus and learning skills, memory ability, stress response, perception of pain, ensuring blood flow, regulation of heart and kidney functions, regular functioning of the digestive system, ensuring pancreatic functions and insulin regulation. Effects of dopamine addiction. The effect of dopamine on brain chemistry. It emerges as a result of a cycle of motivation, reward, and reinforcement. Since its effect increases with reinforcement, dopamine can become addictive after a while. Namely, after a certain number of repetitions, some behavioral patterns turn into habits in the brain. The brain decreases dopamine secretion as this habit is maintained, but at the same time begins to crave much more of the same stimulus to reach the old level of pleasure. If it is explained with a very innocent example, the desire to eat as much as you eat chocolate stems from this feature of dopamine. Similarly, stimulants such as drugs, nicotine, and alcohol. Due to this feature of dopamine, it can turn into addiction. In addition, triggers on social media and non-stop notifications on smartphones can stimulate the brain as if walking around a sweet shop. What is dopamine detox? What are its benefits? During the dopamine detox, the focus is on addictive impulsive behaviors rather than limiting the production of dopamine the body needs. The basis of detox is the principle of classical conditioning. Dopamine detox is beneficial only when it is done to get rid of impulsive behaviors. How is dopamine detox done? How to do a dopamine diet? Some answers to the question cause a false perception of dopamine detox. While technology detox, which is done with a fasting-like approach, is almost turned into a restriction, all elements of pleasure are abandoned. Extremely radical approaches can be adopted with social isolation that even cuts off eye contact. However, experts emphasize that strict practices will not produce positive results. Instead, it emphasizes the importance of regaining control by avoiding problematic impulsivity. Dopamine detox cares about looking at the pleasurable parts of life and recognizing where it's overdone. Because the modern age, where people are regularly overstimulated, produces new addictions, while individuals can easily ignore their addictions. However, today, apart from substance addiction, new types of addictions such as addiction to the internet and online games, shopping passion, emotional eating, and pornography addiction are being struggled. Moreover, the technology that allows access 24/7 and with a single click can trigger such addictions more. Smartphones are becoming indispensable as many algorithms are designed to trigger dopamine. This high dopamine offered by virtual life can cause the individual to find real life boring. This kind of dopamine addiction can also pave the way for behavioral addictions. A constantly stimulated individual may reach a point where he or she cannot enjoy what they initially enjoyed as much as before. Dopamine detox requires a break to balance this extremely high level of stimulation. In this process, triggers and repetitive behaviors that release a strong amount of dopamine are reduced. Thus, the self-healing capacity of the brain is tried to be increased. Contrary to popular belief, dopamine or pleasure is not radically restricted during the detox period. Only addictive stimuli and behaviors are limited. If you liked the video, don't forget to subscribe, like, and comment.